All right, good morning. Got this broadcasting in a few different locations. Just going to double check to make sure it's all working this morning. Looks like it is. Let me just double check one more time. So, I don't know about you, but I'm so sick of these pedophiles, all of them, but certainly these ones that are at the highest levels of government, countries, politicians, celebrities. Hang on, I'm just double checking to make sure this thing is showing. Sorry, guys. Uh, and nobody's getting arrested. No arrests, no perp walks. And it's interesting with hang on, with the whole Epstein files thing. Honestly, at this point, I'm convinced that nobody's going to go to jail. Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's going to prison. And those people will probably never be exposed. And I don't know if that just irks the crap out of you, but it just pisses me off. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, left, right, middle, far left, far right. And it's just, it sickens me. I was watching a video first thing this morning about this teacher who was communicating with a 13-year-old boy. Thank God he got arrested. I follow actually quite a few of these predator chasers and people that go after child sex predators. And honestly, like, I got about 2 years left in me of like hardcore grinding, and then I'm going to spend the rest of my life just chasing child sex predators and do my job to eradicate as best I can this evil. Now, I don't know. I mean, are you as sick of it as I am? Are you just like, does this piss you off that like people are, there's people that are hiring and paying for sex with little boys and girls. There are ones that are just abusing little boys and girls, whether they're paying for it or not. And as a father, man, it pisses me off. And it's like, okay, so we can sit here and talk about it, and there's not a damn thing we can do about the Epstein files. What are you going to do? You're going to make them unredact everything? We're not going to be able to do anything. I think my opinion, and this is just simply opinion, is that the people that are on those lists are so powerful. And so I don't even like the word elite, but that's, the most wealthy people on the planet that, is just never going to be exposed. Never going to be exposed. We can sit here and talk till we're blue in the face. However, there is something that you can do if you're interested in getting in the fight. And you can help take traffickers off the streets here in the US. There's quite a few really good organizations that, Tim Tebow Foundation, OUR, a number of others that focus on eradicating sex trafficking, and they do a good job. Many of those organizations focus on doing so in lots of other countries like Central and South America, Asia, Africa. And what's interesting about that, because laws are different, like if you get involved in that fight, you can literally, depends on who you're working with, you can be involved in like physically beating down the doors and going after those people. But you can't do that in the States. I mean, we've got laws that, if you go try to attack these predators, it's probably not going to stick. There's a few groups of guys that I see on social media that they'll go find the predator, go meet up with them, and it's interesting. They end up beating their ass. Like I've seen a bunch of these dudes just get their ass beat, which is great. I love watching that. I mean, I don't like violence, but those guys deserve to get their ass beat. Unfortunately, I don't know if those things necessarily stick. Sometimes, I mean, the way these guys do it, I mean, yeah, they're causing pain and suffering to these dudes that are doing this, but do they end up in prison? I saw one yesterday where they met up with this guy at a Starbucks and they confronted him. And this guy had spent 20, are you ready for this? He had spent 25 years in prison and he's a registered sex offender. And he was literally getting ready to go meet like another, I don't know, 8-year-old or something. Or maybe it wasn't 8, it might have been 12 or 14. I don't remember. And these guys confronted him. And it was interesting is they made him call 911 on himself, which was great. I'm sure in that case, because the evidence that they had, they probably were able to, get that guy behind bars permanently. And the thing about sex predators, child sex predators behind bars, they don't do well, which is good. They get what they deserve. So there's a group here, and I'm actually, let me see if I can throw a banner up here real quick. If you're interested in getting in the fight, okay, and you want to do your part, we can sit here and talk about it all we want. Let me see where's my banners at? Hang on a second. Sorry guys. Where's my banners? There they are. Hang on. Where'd it go? All right. Okay. So this organization here, okay, Guardian Group. Guardian Group is an organization that's it's actually, interestingly enough, based here in my town. The owner and his wife, they're actually the parents of one of my kids' really good friends. And I didn't even know anything about this stuff like 6-7 years ago. I remember sitting down with them. We're having coffee at this coffee shop. Speaking of, I'm going to take a quick sip. Hang on. Hold on. So we're having coffee, and I was like, does that stuff go on here? He's like, oh, dude. He's like, I got 5 girls in a safe house, like less than a half a mile from here. I'm like, what? I live at like this cool outdoor town, great music scene, and fishing and river rafting and hiking and camping and outdoor skiing, all these different things. And it's not even a major metropolitan area, and yet it's happening right under our nose. And I don't want to make you feel bad, but there's a pretty good likelihood that you've gone out to dinner with a dude that's going and paying for sex with a 12 or 10 or 14-year-old or something like that. You didn't even know it, because the demographics of these guys, it's not like some sleazeball looking dude. It's like the local physician. In fact, we had a physician here in town that got busted. This guy's like, physicians make pretty good money. In fact, the average John is 6 figures plus, so they're not broke. So Guardian Group is run by Jeff Keith is his name. You can check him out. I put the banner right there, guardiangroup.org. And there's 2 ways that you can help. Okay. If you go to the site, and I'm on the site right now, I'm not going to do screen share, but if you go to the website, guardiangroup.org, here's the thing that I personally really like about these guys. A number of things, but one, they focus exclusively on the United States. So if you're an American and you're an American parent and you're like me and you would do anything to protect your child and their innocence and their safety, then knowing that the fight is going on here in the backyard, to me, is like super important. There's lots of these organizations and they do a good job, but they're all focusing over in Thailand or Hong Kong or wherever they're at. They're, Columbia, wherever they're at, outside of the US. They do some work in the US, but they don't do a lot of work in the US. These guys exclusively work here in the States, and they are loved by law enforcement because of the strategies that they've developed for ensuring that these traffickers, when they bust them, it sticks. And so there's 2 ways. Okay. I'm going to lay this out for you. If you're like, hey, I want to, because we sit here and talk about it all we want. Talk, and nothing happens. If you're like serious about it, I'll give you an opportunity to like get in the fight. And I don't mean, can't do that here in the States. I wish we could. I mean, honestly, uh, the thing that I'd like to see done to child sex traffickers is so outside of our laws. Um, the thing I won't even describe what it is because it would be terrible torture that would be done to these men that are doing bad things to kids. I'm not going to say it publicly, but I've visualized it many times. So there's two things. There's one thing, and if you go to the page, guardiangroup.org, there's something called Project 1591. So 1591, what is that, by the way? 1591 is the criminal code for sex trafficking. That's what that number is. Project 1591 is a crowdsourcing volunteer opportunity for people like you to get in the fight. So here's what happens. These guys, you have to first identify, like, okay, who's this little girl or boy? Are they being trafficked? Not all of, like if we look at like people that are being offered for sale, not all of them are being trafficked. Many of them are, granted, obviously. So part of it is determining, who this individual is. Are they underage? Are they being forced to do this? And it's all done through OSINT. What is OSINT? That's open source intelligence. Okay. Meaning you can't go and find these people on the dark web. You have to use things like Google, OnlyFans, escort websites, and the like. So what you can do is there's two ways. Okay. One, you can get involved in Project 1591. Like today, you could literally go to the website, fill out your information. You have to take this pretty robust course to educate you on it, what it is, what to look for. And they give you actually some tests, especially for some of you guys that are good at searching the internet, like you're like little internet sleuths. You got a couple free hours a day. You can go find kids that are being trafficked, and you can be, one that's responsible for getting these people, these bad individuals, put in prison, hopefully permanently. Get them off our streets and save these kids, man. They deserve to be saved. So I would really encourage you to go look at Project 1591. You go in there, you fill some information out. This is a totally volunteer crowdsourcing program that they developed. They have analysts in-house, okay? That all they do is they scour the web every day. I mean, they're looking at all these websites, identifying, putting together files for law enforcement. And and most of those people actually are former, not all of them, but a good percentage of them are like former military, former Rangers, Delta, SEALs, other folks that after they've retired from their careers in either law enforcement or military, they work for organizations like this. So Project 1591, you'll find that at guardiangroup.org. That's a volunteer crowdsourcing deal that you can, like today, right now, you could go get involved, go through the program, go through the course that, pass it, and then you can go find these predators. And that's one way you can directly make an impact. The other thing is, these organizations are, the way that they exist is through donations, through, it's a nonprofit organization, and they don't run they're not running ads. They don't sell stuff. They don't have ways to generate income to hire other people to expand unless they're donations. So if and there's companies out there, like I'll give, I'm happy to directly connect you with Jeff Keith, or, his wife. And, I mean, you guys, I'm not hard to find. You can come find me, call me, text me, reach out to me. If you have a company, or somebody who owns a company that's like, hey, we're trying to figure out, because most large companies or even mid-sized companies, they're like, okay, what can we give to? And so they'll take any checks, 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, 2 million, 5 million. So if you have any kind of connections like that with any individuals, wealthy individuals, or not even necessarily wealthy, but individuals that are willing to give, or companies that want to, get in the fight, then every dollar that goes into Guardian Group will help them expand their reach and their ability to eradicate sex trafficking. So, this is just, it's interesting. Like, your life takes you in different directions. I never thought that I'd be like getting in the fight against child sex traffickers, but man, I love my kids. They're, well, I mean, they're both, 18, they're 18 and 21 now, but these little kids, man, like innocent, and like they should stay innocent, and that should be cherished. This is our future. And to have them abused and sold by their parents sometimes. Like, there are parents that are out, selling their kids, hawking their kids out for sex. I won't even, honestly, I ain't gonna go into some of the stories. Like, I would scare the ever living crap out of you right now if I shared with you some of the things that have been shared with me through this organization. It's bad, man. It is so bad. And like, think about it, like a 8-month-old baby, or a 2-year-old, or a 4-year-old. Yes, 8 months old. Oh, okay. You want one? Here you go. There was a father here, within 100-mile radius of my home, who is having penetrative sex with his 8-month-old child, videotaping it and sharing it with his other creepy bros. If that doesn't piss you off, I don't know what else I can do. And that is absolute fact. That is a true story. I know it's awful, it's gross, it's disgusting. Todd, how can you share that publicly on a live? Well, I mean, what are we supposed to do? Pretend it doesn't happen? I mean, even if you're not a parent and you have a heart, get in the fight, man. I mean, think about it. With my audience, can you imagine if my entire audience went over there, got involved with Project 1591? We had like, I don't know, 1,000, 5,000 of you guys. I mean, even an hour a day. That's 5,000 hours a day of going and finding these people. And it is the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world currently. More than drugs. In fact, a lot of like drug dealers have abandoned selling drugs because there's too much risk there. So what do they say? You can sell a bag of Coke once, but you can sell a kid over and over and over again for years. So the link on your page, wherever you're at, it's not clickable, but you can remember that. That's the organization. It's guardiangroup.org. And yeah, you can do your part. You can get involved in Project 1591. It's right there on the page. You can read about it. And then again, if you know people that are, companies or organizations that have got money, like, I'm trying to help these guys raise 10 million. I mean, another 10 million bucks for this organization will help them really expand their operations and take more of these bad guys off the streets. So, yeah, there's your Monday morning live. Super motivational, huh? No. All right. I got some other work I got to go do, but feel free to reach out to me. You know where to find me.